everyone, it's Jake at Jake's Metal Chat. Hope you're all well and welcome to episode 27 of my Metal Vault. You know the drill by now. If you've been watching this series for a while, which I know most of you have, anyone brand new, welcome. And this is where I will be exploring and showing you my favorite albums within heavy metal, thrash metal, death metal, black metal, doom metal, sludge metal, folk metal, you name it. All of that excellent stuff. And before I continue on with the video itself and the band and album in question, I am moving the recording day of my favorite death metal albums video to Thursday, which is only 4 albums that I picked for that one, but for the next lot, they'll be bigger. It'll be a bigger list with much more albums. But anyway, this band I have shown before, I've talked about before, all the way from Halifax in West Yorkshire. You know, just one hell of a great band here. Excellent band. Formed in 1988. Still going strong today. And if you're not familiar with this band already, then you need to change that and listen to this album. Listen to this band, listen to this album, listen to the one before that. And, you know, continue on with your journey from there. This is Paradise Lost. I've gone with their second album, which I have on CD and vinyl, so I'll show both of the formats. But let's get the CD. This is Paradise Lost with their 1991 album, Gothic. And what an album this is. And here's the thing with Paradise Lost, they are pretty much one of the earliest bands to go to the Gothic side of metal, along with My Dying Bride, which obviously I have mentioned on this series. I've mentioned this band before in past videos, but I don't think I've shown anything now. And of course, I prefer that logo to the new one, but, you know, like this one because obviously more on the death metal vein. Well, they were Death Doom when they started, but this one started going more on the Gothic route, but I'll get into that in a bit later. Let's show the back. Of course, this is a re-release. Of course, this was released on Peaceville back in the day. So we got the album there, some bonus tracks, and a DVD, which I have watched. It's really cool. Of course, we've got the CD there. The DVD there. Bit of the artwork there. On what you saw on the back. I'll get the book out so I can show you the artwork again, because I took a stick off that and I haven't been able to get that off. There's the artwork there. And of course the band on the back. As well as it's just bits of writing about the album on the re-release. It's re-release. Oh yeah, got this nice little poster in here, which of course I'm not going to take out of this book. If I bought another copy, most likely, but and of course some lyrics. Very good stuff indeed. Very good. Seen these guys live before. I know they played Bristol a few times, but I did miss them one time before. But I did see them 2 years ago. Just thinking about it, you know? And of course, I've seen them at Bloodstock, and I think that might be the only 2 times I've seen them at any place. I think they played Bloodstock at least a couple of times, but anyway. Like I said, I got the CD here. Yeah, sorry about the sticker. Of course, got the CD, but before, like I said, before I chat about the album itself, got the vinyl as well, which on the vinyl itself, obviously, it's got the band picture like in the book, on the back of the book. And let's get the vinyl out. You got the artwork right there, and that piece of artwork there. Really cool. I like how it's on the vinyl itself. Haven't spun. I played this album. I haven't played it in such a long time, but I am going to at some point when I got nothing going on because recently started back at a gym, and of course we got gigs coming up and things like that. You know how it goes. Metalheads go to gigs, and then some metalheads don't go to a lot of gigs, but that's their choice. But yeah, yeah, that's really cool. Of course, got the logo. You can barely see that from over here because it's kind of dark. But anyway, let's talk about the band. Like I said, I was going to go talking about the album. Let's talk about the band first. Obviously, formed in 1988 in Halifax in West Yorkshire. That is way up north from here. Been going since 1988. So, of course, 2028 will be 40 years since they were a band. So, it's going to be like 36 years they've been a band now. So, and of course, always going to tell him, inside the Metal Archives, pretty much one of the things here it says, one of the pioneers of death doom metal alongside Anathema and My Dying Bride, sometimes known as the Peaceville Three, because obviously they were on Peaceville. This album was on Peaceville, now they're on Nuclear Blast. But way before that, Peaceville, which again I have mentioned, one of my favorite labels. Let's talk about their demos, the first album, and then all the way up to this one, because I don't have Shades of God, I don't think, or no way, I might have bought that recently. But I know I do have The Plague Within, Medusa, Obsidian, and I think that's it. I haven't got Icon 30, so. Anyway, first demo was called Morbid Existence from 1988, which was only that one song. Then Paradise Lost from 1988, which had 3 songs. Because Morbid Existence, obviously on the first demo, I was the only song on that one, but on this one is Drowned in Darkness, Internal Torment, and Morbid Existence, which I know, looking at here, no, none of the ones on this are on the demos. I think Frozen Illusion. No, no, they'll all be on the first. I'm sorry. Of course, they didn't write them after. So yeah, Frozen Illusion was 1989, and of course, 1990 saw the release of their debut, Lost Paradise, which is just a straight up Death Doom album, just straight up, just a fantastic piece of art, fantastic music, fantastic band. Because a lot of songs from other demos have appeared on here, so like Frozen Illusion, I think that might have been the only one from any of the demos that was on here. And of course, after that, they did a split video called Vile Visions with Axe Grinder, Deviant Instinct, and Decadence Within. And the in Gladiators, I think I just said that wrong, but me and my pronunciations. But yeah, Axe Grinder, Deviant Instinct, two fucking great cross punk bands there. Crusty grindcore stuff. And I've seen Deviant Instinct with Coffins. They did the in-dub single, which is like there's a doom mix of Rotten Misery and a demolition dub of Breeding Fear. And then of course they had the live death video, which was them playing in 1989 in I think it was Nottingham, which had Deviant Instinct on support. I'm trying to remember the date, but whoever was actually at that show, you could probably tell me a lot better than that because I wasn't born yet. Then he did a split in 1991 with Autopsy. Obviously, Autopsy are still on Peaceville, so they both put a song on each. So Eternal, which would be on the album in question, and Autopsy's Twisted Mass of Burnt Decay, which is obviously from Mental Funeral. And I had to be sure Eternal's on there, not making anything up. But now, let's get on to the album question. Let's get a bit of a drink in. Of course, let's talk about Gothic. Like I said, obviously, when you listen to the first album, but just to point out, it still says here on the Metal Archives, it says Doom, Death Metal, Gothic Metal, Rock. But I'm hearing more of what they're doing nowadays, not less the Death Doom side, more the Gothic Metal Rock side. Maybe there might be a bit of Doom, bit of Death Metal in there still, but mainly the first two albums, so Lost Paradise and Gothic. This album is beautifully done. Absolutely just a fantastic, excellent made album. Just don't really know. There's a lot of things to say about this, but just how all the songs are structured, and if I'm just discounting the bonus tracks, just the album on its own, just from track 1 to 10, beautifully done. It's still very Death Doom, but like it's going into what they're known for, which is that more Gothic style. And with Paradise Lost, there are going to be fans of everything. I haven't heard every single album. I've heard certain songs from other albums. I'm like not getting on with it so well, but when I listened to this one, the first album, Plague Within, Shades of God, um, I think primarily those ones I'm really into those because obviously the Plague Within went more to what they started out as back in the day. I mean, their demos sound more death metal, but they went more on the doom side. Pardon me. And this album still contains a lot of that, from the title track, Gothic, and on to my favorite track, Dead in Motion. That's how I figure out how I got into Paradise Lost, was just from listening to that one track from this album and just being totally immersed in it. And this album I got totally immersed in, Shattered and Rapture, Eternal, Fallen Forever, Angel Tears, Silent, The Painless, and Desolate. You know, if you go to their lyrical themes, obviously it's death, fear, religion, life, suffering, and other various different lyrical themes. And you can hear, especially with Nick's vocals on this, you can hear the anguish in his voice. And it fits so beautifully on this entire album. But for me personally, it would be on the song Dead Emotion. Because I watched that Grindcore documentary. They appeared on it along with Napalm Death and yeah. Napalm Death, Prophecy of Doom. Who else was on it? Nocturnus. Leave Morbid Angels on there as well. I'm trying to top of my head. I got the DVD in my cupboard. Sonic Violence. Cerebral Fix and Entomb had their own music videos put on there, so Left Hand Path, and I'm trying to remember the Cerebral Fix song right now, but anyway, the song that I heard from that documentary was Dead Emotion from this album. Obviously, I didn't know it was from this album until I looked at it. I was like, oh wait, where's that song from? Found the album. I was like, Gothic. Not very fitting because it is quite a obviously, like I said, Death Doom, but going to that Gothic route, and that's what I like about Paradise Lost and Anathema and My Dying Bride and Therion as well. They they've gone into this genre of gothic metal and done a cracking job at it. And this album's a testament, going back to the band in question, is a testament. You know, when you get to the song Shattered, it's got like a nice, it's got that strong, heavy, strong opening with the chords, and then the I'm trying to remember all the guitar bits, but you know what I mean. The sort of like hammer on pause, but not really like I can't think what I'm on about, but I do play someone. I can't think what I'm on about the start that guitar style. But anyway, this whole album is just incredible. Obviously, with the song "Dead in Motion," but going back to that song and that documentary, especially the song "Dead in Motion," when he's because it's them playing live somewhere. Obviously, people stage diving, and you think a death doom metal band who freaking stage dives to a band like that? Metalheads of the '90s. That's who you know. Obviously, a lot of stage diving is like obviously there's going to be security there, whatever. Especially when he does like a screaming one bit for the emotion, it's just like, dude, that's insane. Like totally, totally insane. And he even said in that interview that he has to be totally miserable if he's going to write something like this. I mean, every musician on this album is talented, of course. Let's talk about the lead guitarist himself, no, Greg McIntosh. I was thinking David Gregor from Mortal Skull, also on Peaceville. Then lead guitars, we've got Aaron Indy, A A E D Y. I'm not sure how you say that on Reverend guitars. Stephen Edmondson on bass and Matthew Archer, who was the drummer from 1988 to 1993. So he was the original drummer, and that's what this band. There's something because there are certain bands that always had a problem with like one or two members, like trying to keep like the same members. So like Autopsy's case was a bass player. Their case was a drummer. With Sodom, it was a guitar player, but. But obviously, Stephen, Aaron, Greg, and Nick are all still in the band. All original members still in the band. It's just the drummers, but Matthew's drum work on this is brilliant. Um, yeah, Gregor McIntosh. Let's get on to him, mate, because he's got a new band called Strigoi, which I was going to go see at Damnation last year, but couldn't make it in the end. But he had Fire. We got to see a few times. Missed the last show that they played, and he's done guest stuff on Catatonia's the Four of Hearts from 2016. His wife's in a band called Tap in the Vein. Never heard of him. Not sure what stuff, but I'll give it a go. But she's also done some vocal stuff on the last few Paradise Lost releases from the 2005 self-titled album Paradise Lost, the Enemy single in Requiem, The Plague, Medusa, Obsidian, and Icon 3. And that's really cool when you can bring someone that you know in, be it brother, sister, cousins, husband, wife, into your project like that. it's really cool. Guest vocal wise on this one, I cannot. Sarah Marin. I think I said that wrong. Obviously, did guest vocals on tracks 1, 2, and 9. So, Gothic, Dead Emotion, and what was the other one? Track 9, The Painless. And then she was on Shades of God, and then 1 second. So Shades of God 1992, and then 1 second in 1997. And on this, they had some orchestra sections. So the Rapturn Symphony Orchestra did all the orchestrations on this album, and they fit really well with this album. Obviously, when I heard the Dead Emotion live version, obviously couldn't put that on. I know some bands use backing tracks. And for keyboards, they had someone called Keith Appleton, who's done a lot of stuff for people like Cradle of Filth, My Dying Bride, like guest stuff, music stuff, Anathema, again, Cradle of Filth, My Dying Bride, Paradise Lost, Sonic Violence, who I mentioned. If I'm going back to the bands on that documentary, but anyway. Because how I found out about him was from that documentary, and I saw him on the 666 at Calling Death, which I think around that time they were promoting the not Icon album, Shades of God album. But they were playing Deadly Inner Self, which is from the debut album, Lost Paradise. But you can see how they transitioned from just death metal, well, Death Doom to still Death Doom, but go more gothic. And this album, it started all up for them for that side of it, like with Turn Loose the Swans by My Dying Bride, who I did mention, and obviously on this series as well. Just a phenomenal album. And if you're not familiar with this album, let me get on that so you can see the cover, you definitely need to check it out. Some people might be put off by the whole gothic overtones if you like just more straight up death metal, or if you are just more of a death metal fan, this won't be for you because there's not a lot of it there. Well, there is with like the riffs and stuff, and obviously Nick's vocals, but they're not death metal in the sense of like Cannibal Corpse, Deicide, Morbid Angel, Death and Possessed, and who else? It's nothing like what Nile went on to create. It's Death Doom, but gone more on the gothic route. But then some Death Doom metal bands sound very gothic anyway, without even trying to be. And these guys did it with this album. They weren't even trying to be, gothic, and it just happened. And they've been doing it since this album. They've been making music since 1988. They've been doing that gothic sound since this album that came out in 91. They're still going strong today, 36 years later. And like I said, 2028, 40 years of a band. And this album's been out since it's coming up to its 33rd anniversary in March, on the 19th of March, because that was released that day, that month in 1991. It's a monumental album, this. There's many more albums I'll be saying. That's a word I haven't used there. Monumental. Timeless. Masterpiece. It's fantastic. It's well engineered, well produced, well played by everyone involved, on the guitars, the bass, the drums, the vocals, the orchestra, keyboards. the backing vocals, everything about this album is just amazing. And if you don't know this album, don't have it, then I do highly recommend you get it up. You get it. Well, like I said, I got it on both formats here, so CD and vinyl. Because I guess I got this vinyl in this is way before Black City Records was open, and it was at the other record shop that was open, that's still open now. But you know me, loyal to Black City Records, only buy there now unless I'm at a festival and it's like, okay, what can I get there? But either way, you know, Black City Records, best shop, got tons of their stuff in there. Anywho, highly recommend this band. You want to start off with the earlier stuff. If you already know them already and you don't know the earlier stuff, then do check out Lost Paradise, this one, and Shades of God. And Icon as well. When did that come out? That came out in 93. So, first 4 albums. But if you want to go to where they started doing the Gothic sound, this one. Definitely this one. So, overall, a monumental album. An absolute banger of an album. An excellent band. And a timeless masterpiece. Not sure what else there is to say about this album and the band themselves. When they're live, they have an amazing presence. And I missed them performing all this album at Damnation Fest in 2021. I was going to go, but then I went out before, obviously. It's like, oh, 30th birthday. Let's just get, Yeah, I regret that now, but I did see At the Gates to Slaughter the Soul, so at least I got to see that because I want to try and see bands do like whole albums like this all the way through. Hopefully, my dying by do turn loose the swans. Who knows? See what happens. But I would love to have seen this. But anyway, this has been Paradise Lost and Gothic. Fantastic album, monumental to the metal scene in 1991. A timeless masterpiece. Excellent, excellent Gothic death doom. That's what I'm going to call this. Because it's mixed that Gothic element with death doom. Just a beautiful sounding, heavy, melodic. It's quite melodic as well. Beautifully sounding album. Pick it up. One more time, Paradise Lost and Gothic. And that's been another episode of My Metal Vault. And I've got a lot more here for you. Obviously, this page is nearly done. Got one more left on this page. And then 6 more on that page. And so I get to the 35th episode, because nearly on 30 episodes. Once I get that 35th, it's going to be a long one because I'm going to be talking about 3 albums from the same band. But just one more time about Paradise Lost. You're not familiar with them, check them out. If you already know the later stuff and don't know earlier stuff, like I said, the first 4 albums, Lost Paradise, Gothic, Shades of God, Icon. But if you want more of that death doom with that Gothic metal element, definitely Gothic. Highly recommended. Love that album. And that's about it. That's all I want to say about it. Thank you very much for tuning in to all the regulars who watch this series and watch my channel overall. Anyone brand new, welcome again. Hope you enjoyed the video. And to those who are brand new, don't forget to like this video, share it around, comment down below if you got anything on your mind about the band, the album, any other albums that came around that same time or after, or just around the 90s that, you know, were adding that goth element. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this to keep up to date with everything that I'm doing. One more time, I will be recording my favorite death metal albums video on Thursday instead of tomorrow. Just be a lot easier to do it then. After that, I'll be going to the gym in the evening anyway. So, yeah, thank you again for tuning in to another episode. I've been Jake of Jake's Metal Chat, and I will see you all again in my Metal Vault.